Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video. On Jasmy, your daily update. Wanted to give you my thoughts today. I mean, overall, in the last 24 hours, so since my coverage yesterday, not much has changed. All right, the price is pretty much at the same levels. Yesterday it was around, I think, 1.6 cents. And what I said is that I thought it was most likely we would get some sort of a bearish breakout. But I mean, yesterday we had already gotten a bearish breakout below the POC right here, which is this red line. And we failed to break above that. So that's a bit of bearish confirmation. But a real big bearish breakout we did not really get. I mean, you can see we had some sort of a breakout here, a bearish one, but I don't think that's too conclusive yet. So I would say we're still in that same price area. But I do think the situation is still the same. And yesterday, if you remember, my thoughts on Jasmy were still that it was most likely we were going to get a drop. All right, and I'll tell you why. I mean, the main thing is, and this is something you can see pretty often. The main thing is that you can see right here that we had a ton of open interest going into that first top right here. But then the second time we tried to make that top, what you can see is that the open interest barely peaks. All right, you can see the open interest was much lower in stablecoin margins contracts. So that means that there just was less hype. All right, there was less hype, less capital flowing into positions, which usually, if you see a divergence like that, even though we did make a lower low as well, so it's technically it's not that much of a divergence, but I would say there's a divergence in how severe the drops were. Usually when you see that, that's just bearish, all right? And you can see that we had a huge spot sell-off since the 22nd of February. There still is a lot of open interest in futures positions, but that's also slowly dropping down. As you can see, it's still much higher, so that also means that we have quite a lot of liquidity around us, and we talked about that before. I mean, if you look at the liquidity right now, there's quite a lot of liquidity to the upside, quite a lot of liquidity to the downside. So that's still the case. So that's also why I'm telling you, I don't necessarily expect us to drop down right now with that liquidity up at 1.7 cents. I think there's a fair possibility we'll still spike up here to grab those liquidity levels, decrease the open interest a little bit more, and that then we can actually see then we can see some more sell-offs. All right, because ultimately I do think that after some spiking around in this level, grabbing liquidity and basically flushing out retail, I do think we'll drop back down to that main support around 1.25 and 1.2 cents. Where, by the way, for the active watcher, you can also see that there is a lot of liquidity. All right, millions of dollars in general. So that's what I expect. I think that's look, Jasmy right now, there are obviously some bullish fundamentals around crypto and Japan. That's true. And Jasmy is the biggest crypto there, but overall, I don't expect this to go much different because of that. Because I think most of the price action right now for Jasmy is fueled by retail traders just gambling or just playing around with Jasmy, and some bigger whales and manipulators, which you can also see by the fact that the open interest in futures positions is still up a lot. But that's pretty interesting because, most of those futures positions are probably still long. So that also means that also explains why there's so much liquidity to the downside. But all right, so a little bit of a spike up is what I expect here. But in general, I would just wait for some sort of a big bearish breakout or some sort of big confirmation. If for some reason Jasmy is able to break above 1.75 cents here, which I would not expect, but if we can do that, that would be very bullish. But I think it's most likely that we'll just drop down below 1.5 and 1.45 cents again at some point of time. And that we'll see that drop down to the liquidity and 1.2. But I'll keep you updated on this, all right? So if anything happens, I'll try to let you know as soon as possible. For now, though, these are my thoughts. So thank you for watching. Have a great week, and bye.